Spider-Man, brand new day's newest and most unexpected cast in this. Beck cast announcement makes one other MCU release look far more important than before. As the fourth Spider-Man movie in the MCU timeline, there's a lot of excitement for Spider-Man, brand new day's story, especially because the previous films have been so successful. With Spider-Man Brand New Day set for an impending 2026 release date, theories about which MCU characters could appear in its story have been rife, particularly since the MCU Spider-Man movies have commonly featured major crossovers. However, few could have predicted the latest Brand New Day cast announcement. This is namely because June 2025 brought the news that the Punisher will be making an MCU return in the story of Spider-Man Brand New Day. Given how different the two characters are, and how Castle's last appearance was in the TV MA-rated Daredevil Born Again, this understandably came as something of a surprise. While Spider-Man and the Punisher have appeared side by side in many comic stories, exactly how the MCU will execute their on-screen movie meeting is still not a decidedly clear matter, given the duo have worked as allies and also fought against one another in Marvel's comics. It's also not yet clear whether Castle will prove an ally or enemy to Spider-Man. However, one thing that is more clear is that this makes the Punisher's MCU story more integral to the franchise than ever. Not only is Brand New Day the character's first major live-action movie appearance since 2008's Punisher Warzone, it also serves as a way to make another upcoming release all the more noteworthy by proximity: Spider-Man. Brand New Day will be the Punisher's big-screen return, but we will be seeing him before then. Of course, the Punisher does have his own upcoming spin-off in the works, but his role in Daredevil, Born Again Season 2, looks perhaps more pressing still in this regard. Where the Punisher's upcoming special presentation looks likely to focus more squarely on Frank Castle, facing the corrupt Punisher Squad who use his name and symbol for their own purposes, Daredevil Born Again Season 2 looks set to explore more about New York on a wider level. Indeed, Daredevil, Born Again Season 1's ending looks to make this unavoidable. Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is set to delve into major matters for New York, like Kingpin's mayoral run and his troubling goals, as well as Bullseye's own plans in the city, and the seeming emergence of new vigilantes like Angela Del Toro becoming the second White Tiger. As such, there's a lot of ways the city could change here. With Daredevil Born Again Season 2 set to release in March 2026, its run should take place pretty close to Brand New Day and its own July 2026 release. If Season 2 runs with the weekly release schedule Season 1 did, the final episodes should release 2 months before the Spider-Man movie, making it seem like they could closely align. Daredevil Born Again Season 2 most obviously helps set up the Punisher's storyline in Spider-Man Brand New Day by coming not long before the MCU movie. However, if it follows up on the first chapter of the show, it also looks like it could do far more than just show where the anti-hero is at before the movie. We've long known Frank Castle has a complex relationship with Daredevil, as this dates all the way back to the original Daredevil show on screen. Delving further into how the Punisher relates to other heroes, and what his time as a lethal New York vigilante has been like of late, are concepts that could surely carry through into Brand New Day. On a similar note, seeing the Punisher's return to being a more active figure in the New York vigilante scene should also prove interesting. Since Spider-Man is also adverse to straight-up killing his enemies, seeing the path of destruction and bloodshed Castle weaves should help tease the conflict that will likely emerge between the two early on. Hopefully, the next chapters of Frank Castle's story will also depict more about the level of brutality the anti-hero employs, both for those who didn't catch his prior appearances in Daredevil and the Punisher, and so it can be underlined that he and Spider-Man are profoundly different protagonists. That said, this could also serve wider benefits too. One of the more prominent complaints about the recent releases of the MCU is that their stories tie together and cross over less than earlier chapters of the franchise.